Entertainment Sword here, and I'm back to talk about Star Wars Andor, Season 1, Episode 12, the final episode of the season. Uh, I think it's just an okay episode. I don't think it's great. I think there are a lot of problems. There are scenes missing in this episode that should have been in this episode, especially to do with the Rebel Trap. There's a part in this episode that was just utterly ridiculous. Just utterly ridiculous. What the Empire did in this episode, it makes no sense. Now, some people are going to say it does make sense because there is literal stuff in history that you could point to say this is what happened. But no, not for me. Not especially when the Empire was still in control. There was no reason for that order to be given by that Imperial governor. There was no reason. Yes, something did massively happen, but to go that far with that was ridiculous in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying this episode is terrible. Listen, I like parts of it. I think Andor is great in this episode. But yeah, there was just a lot of mistakes for me in this episode. But there is another good thing. They did do Khan a good storyline in this episode. A really good storyline. So I'll give credit to them for that. So I want to go into spoilers now. I think I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. Listen, the visuals are still great. I did like what I saw on screen, parts of it, but for me there are still too many problems and too many missing scenes that should have been in this episode. So let's go into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with a boy, or I think it's a boy, building a bomb to, throw at the Empire. And Andor reaches Pharax, whatever, to see his mother, or to be there for the funeral. Because on this planet, when you die, you get a stone placed somewhere to mark you as dead. I don't really know. I don't really understand what the hell that was all about. But there's a stone they need to fucking pray to and plant to to deal with a funeral. Anyway, so next scene, Deidre arrives on the planet in a shuttle. When she arrives, all the Imperial Command staff are pretty much like, we didn't expect you to be here this early. We have dinner for you if you're hungry. But no, she just wants to get to work. She wants to go out on the streets to kind of see what's happening. The Imperial officers pretty much tell her what's going on. So they've already made plans for the funeral. They've given them a time and a limit to how long they can be there for before the curfew is resetted. But the Empire are going to allow them to have the funeral so they can draw out Andor. Deidre is pretty much making sure that the Imperials understand that Andor needs to be captured alive. And when one of the Imperials tells her they want to put snipers around the funeral, she tells them not to do that because she knows a sniper's pretty much going to take a shot on Andor and ruin her plan to capture him, so that she can find Levin or whatever his name is. Then the next scene is with Mon Mothma. She's in a car, pretty much pissed off because she has to do something pretty bad to her husband, because she knows that her driver is an ISB agent. So she needs to find a way to explain why there is so much money leaving her accounts. So she is blaming her husband for that by saying that he's gone back to his gambling addiction. And so what she's trying to do is set a plan in motion so that she can start moving money out of her accounts and blame it on her husband, so the Imperials will blame him for the money losses and not her, and not look into her either. Which is pretty bad because, the Empire are pretty much going to start asking more questions of the husband, and it is definitely going to ruin their marriage. But she's doing all this because she doesn't want to go through with the marriage between her daughter and the black market salesman. Even though at the end of this episode you do see the daughter and the son meet, and well, I think she's only going through with this for a time before she can start her own plan to pretty much blame her husband for all the money disappearing. So that's all that Mon Mothma did in this episode. Again, I do think it's a smart plan. Her husband's pretty much a fuck up. You can all see that from the episodes. So it's a good plan. It's a heartless plan, but she needs to do something so she can move the money without the black market guy. Back on Pharax, we see Khan and his Scottish friend arrive on the planet, getting ready to try to see if they can capture Andor. This is a problem for me in this episode. Andor and Khan don't meet again in this entire episode. They don't meet again, which makes no sense. Again, he's here to find Andor. What? It just annoys me that these two are not going to meet for another season. It's just it's so dumb. So Khan and his Scottish friend arrive on the planet. They try to, meld in with the crowd so they can try to find a area to see if they can search for Andor. That's what they do. When Khan then sees that he can't get past the Imperial troops, he decides to just stand in a random corner watching the funeral ceremony. So the funeral, we get the scenes of the funeral ceremony being set up with all the, instruments, people and all that. Then they start marching towards the hotel where Bex is. Andor then talks to his friends on the planet. They tell him about what's happened on the planet, how the Imperials have kidnapped Bex and doing terrible things to her. Andor decides that he needs to go rescue her because it is his fault that she's in this position. And so he decides to figure out a way past the Imperials' security. We then get the scene of the funeral party marching towards the Empire. And, I forgot the one scene that annoyed me the most in this episode. So the plan worked against the rebels. The Imperials were able to defeat the attacking force on all the power stations that they were planning to attack. And ISB decided to kill all the prisoners. They decided not to take any prisoners, just to wipe out the entire rebel group. Which is dumb, and Deidre tells them that. And the head of ISB says, listen, we had to send a message to the galaxy that the Empire is not weak and that we can defeat the rebels. And that's why they decided to slaughter all these rebels who would have been far more valuable alive. But what annoys me about this scene is we don't see the attack. We don't see the Empire win. We only see computer screens of red dots to say, yeah, the Empire won. Like, Disney, are you running out of money or something? Why not, show us a scene of the rebels getting destroyed by the Empire? That would have been an interesting scene to see. So I don't know why they didn't put that scene in this episode. It just seems ridiculous to me that they didn't do it. So, it was just stupid. And again, the problem with Andor is there has been a lot of boring episodes. This could have been a, action-packed episode. Starfighters having space battles. You could have done that in this episode. But you didn't. So we could have some ridiculous... I'll get to that, but that just annoys me so much. Really does. Anyway, so the funeral party arrives at the Imperials' headquarters. The Imperials send out all their security teams. They have stormtroopers up above to give cover to the riot troopers. I think that's what they are. And they then stop. They let the little robot guy come to the middle, and then he sends a hologram up with Andor's mum, who starts pretty much saying how proud she is of Pharax, how she wishes she could be there with them, and how they need to stand up against the Empire because they've been sleeping for too long. And darkness only succeeds because we sleep, or some shit like that. Now, what annoys me about this scene is, why did the Empire let this go for so long? Like, what was the point? Why did any of the stormtroopers just shoot the robot? Why didn't the fucking governor of the fucking planet go over there a fucking long time earlier to cover the fucking picture? Because he eventually does, as soon as she says the Empire is evil and we need to fight. And then he puts his jacket on top of the robot, just not enough to cover the whole fucking hologram. She gets the last words out of "fight the Empire." Like, how could you be that stupid? Why did you let it go on for that fucking long? But this ends up starting a massive fucking fight. The people of Farax just attack the Imperials. They try to punch through the shield wall, the riot shield wall. The Imperials have managed to, drag the officer, the idiot who just went out there to put his jacket over half a fucking hologram image. Still ridiculous scene in my opinion. They drag him. The people keep fighting the Empire. They keep punching each other. They're not really getting through. And then the kid at the beginning, who I think's lost his or her father, throws a bomb at the Imperials and it blows up. And apparently this kid is such a good fucking shot at throwing bombs. He hits a box full of grenades, and it all just explodes and just fucking wipes out a lot of people. All I have to say to that is, why the fuck is there a bunch of grenades just sitting there in a box? Why are they not in a protected crate? It's so ridiculous, because the box just opens and a shitload of grenades just fall out and blow up. I forgot the scene of there's a black guy on the planet. He's the one who usually does like deals with people or takes bets with people. I don't know what he does. He goes to the Imperials and tells them where Andor is, or where he believes Andor is, because he managed to find out some information from some of Andor's friends. He tells the Imperials the information that he has, and then Deidre goes with two Death Troopers. By the way, Death Troopers have been pretty much cut to fuck. They are pretty fucking useless in this episode. Do you remember in Rogue One when they looked like a threat? That is completely gone now, because again, one, they've been overused, and two, every time they fight the rebels now, they fucking lose. It's so fucking ridiculous. Death Troopers are just stormtroopers at this point, just in black armour. Ridiculous. Anyway, Dedmore goes to see if the informant's information is right. She sends the Death Troopers in with the security officer. He looks up there. Andor's not there. So Dedmore goes back out into the street where the funeral is going on. The explosion happens. Dedmore's on the floor. The group start attack each other again after the explosion, but the Imperials still have a riot shield wall, so they're not in any danger. They still have pretty much control of the area. And then for some ridiculous fucking reason, the Imperial governor tells the stormtroopers to open fucking fire. For no reason. Now someone's going to say, well, there was a big explosion and maybe there was a bunch of Imperials dead and he just wanted to get some, payback. No. They have the fucking suspect, because again, he sends two stormtroopers to grab the twat who threw the bomb. So they have him already. Why would you open fire? You haven't lost control of the situation. You still have a shitload of stormtroopers. You still have a shitload of riot troopers. What the fuck is the point in fucking starting a massacre? There was no reason to give that order. If that was me and I was given that order, just open fire, because we had a blast behind us, I would refuse that order, because it is ridiculous. We are not in danger. One bomb went off, and then a shitload of grenades that some moron left went off. You still have control of the area. I would refuse that order and probably arrest the stupid cunt who gave that order. You have literally given the rebels the biggest win in history with this ridiculous massacre. So then you just see stormtroopers who apparently now can fucking aim, just shoot in a shitload of unarmed civilians for no reason. They kill a shitload of fucking civilians. The stormtroopers, by the way, who were sent to capture that kid who threw the bomb, well, apparently Andor's friend can just kick the shit out of them and grab the kid and run away with him. Oh, and another one of Andor's friends gets killed because he just jumps on a stormtrooper and another stormtrooper shoots him in the back. And there you go. Andor manages to sneak through security. He gets to Bex. He gets her out of the prison, and then he manages to mix in with the crowd, and they manage to get away. Where Andor then gets all the group together, all of his friends together. They all get on a ship and fly away, except for Andor, who pretty much just says goodbye to them, and he says, "I need to go do something first. You'll be safe. I'll find you." Blah 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 blah. And that's that. Well, I'll talk about what happens to Andor in the end in a bit. Deidre, she is also involved in the riot. She gets set upon by a bunch of rioters. They take her blaster away from her, but she manages to get pulled away by Khan. Khan gets her to safety. And I've got to give them credit here. I like that scene because it shows that Khan isn't just a moron. He grabbed her pistol. He got her out of the danger zone. He got her to safety. And now I think he's now going to be trusted by her. Now she might bring him into ISB, which would be massively interesting. Something that should have happened fucking ages ago. But again, credit to them for giving Khan one fucking win. And the episode ends with Andor meeting up with Levon and pretty much giving him his blaster and saying, "Kill me or recruit me." And Levon pretty much recruits him into the new rebellion now that they can use the massacre on Farax as a rallying call for people to join the rebellion. And that's how the episode ends. I do know there were scenes with the lesbian couple, but I couldn't give a shit because they pretty much do absolutely nothing in this episode. You could have taken both of them out of this episode and nothing fucking changes. Oh, apparently one of them was able to stab an Imperial security officer. That's all she does. Literally, that's all she fucking does in that entire episode. And that's how it ends. I don't think it's a bad episode. I think it's okay. I think I can rewatch it and I'll still have fun. But there are just a lot of problems. The massacre makes no sense. The taking out the scene of the rebellion getting its ass kicked by the Empire made no sense. But I still like Andor. I think it's a good series. I don't think it's the best Star Wars series I've ever seen, but I think it's the best season of this year. And I am kind of looking forward to season 2. So it's a 6 out of 10 for me. I think the series, all in all, is okay. But I hope Disney don't fuck this up by trying to wokeify it to death. But who knows? Because Disney now has a new fucking boss. Well, when I say new, they just gotten rid of the new guy and put the old guy in. But anyway, that's a different situation. But yeah, Andor the season is pretty okay. The episode, okay, could do with improving. And yeah, that's my review. If you like my review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think of subscribing. Entertainment Soldier. Bye.